So good day, sir. My name is Dexter Boncales. I'm from Cantajon, Palumpon, Leyte, and I'm also from Bsmt 1C. And today, I am going to explain about the existence of a maximally great being in terms of first, the information on our DNA. Now, to better understand and to make the explanation much easier, let me just give you a real life scenario that may best explain how the information on our DNA prove the existence of God. So, suppose you're at the beach, strolling and walking by the sand, and suddenly you stumbled upon a message or information that is written on the sand that says, Dexter is my best friend. Then what is the very possibility that this information is written by chance or by just the random waves? We will most probably say no. The waves can't form or convey message like that. This message is an information that came from an entity that has intelligence. So the point is that in every information, there must be a source that has intelligence. And as we all know, our DNA or the DNA of a human being contains an intricate pattern of codes or information which left us wondering or concerning the example or which left us wondering what concerns to the example stated above, who in the world could create this kind of information and fuse it to the every nucleus of every cell in our body. Scientists stated that the information found in our DNA is far more advanced than any human being has ever created. It contains 3 billion bits of information that dictates every cell in our body of the basic operation that our body does. It also contains information that makes up an organism and all the features that you or the every quality that you have and the trait that you possesses and so much more. Now remember the message that you have found on the beach again. If that information can't occur by chance, but needs a being with intellect, how can we neglect the billions of information infused in our DNA, right? No one in this world can make or write that incredibly dense, long, and complex information that made up who we are right now. That is why, if the information in our DNA is beyond human comprehension, then the creator of this information, our DNA, must be infinitely intelligent and is beyond all of us. And no one's perfectly fitted in that definition but a maximally great being we call God. Next is the explanation of the existence of God in the fine-tuning of the universe. The mere explanation of the fine-tuning of the universe or how our universe is fine-tuned is the existence of life itself. Explanation and evidences that our universe is fine-tuned can be found almost everywhere. Precisions and constant that if altered and disrupted even in the tiniest bit will cause the prohibition of the existence of life. The gravitational force, if altered, stars would not exist, and therefore neither would we. Our positions in the solar system, if moved towards or away from the sun, would prohibit the existence of life. The axial tilt, which is 23.5 degrees, changed that and we wouldn't exist. And the mere distance of the moon from the earth, if changed lightly, life wouldn't thrive. The average distance between stars in our galaxy is 30 trillion miles, and that precise distance is needed for Earth to exist in its present life-supporting condition. So everything in the universe is precisely calculated and finely tuned to support life. And I wouldn't believe that it is all just because of chance or just because of the physical necessity. There is no way that we landed and we're always just being so lucky to meet what is needed to support life. I am not convinced that because of luck or chance, we were always placed in a condition where we will eventually thrive. As everything must be precise and balanced in a razor blade, so for us to be alive and so for life to exist. Chance doesn't cost anything, and we are not alive because of the reasons that we are just lucky. but because of there is someone who is far beyond space and time and whose intelligence is far beyond human comprehension. A super intelligent being who designed the universe perfectly and perfectly tuned everything to support and to make the very possibility of humans and for all of the existence of life. God said, "Lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created these stars and named them one by one? Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing." Because of the mighty designer, nothing is missing and everything is precisely here for all of us to be alive. So next is the existence of God through or being proved by the existence of the absolute moral values and duties. So there's a realization that if absolute moral values and duties exist, they must be grounded in something. If it exists, we can predict that the next question would be where they came from, right? Yet modern philosophers have had hard time grounding them in something that is natural, and it is also widely admitted that there's a crisis and an ending debate about the truest foundation of morality. So there just seems to be insufficient explanation of where to ground moral facts and duties. And that is why theists, and most of the theists, explains that we should ground absolute moral values and duties in the existence of a God. Morality is deciphered through rationality and reasoning and not through empirical investigation. This explains that morality is a rational enterprise. If morality is a rational enterprise and moral realism is true, then it should follow that moral values and duties cannot be grounded in humans because humans constantly fail the moral laws. Additionally, humans can't be the source of moral knowledge, and because we don't have the perfect knowledge of the facts because we are not morally perfect on the first place. Our actions ultimately reveals that we are not the foundation of morality as we constantly fail to grasp the moral facts and we constantly grasp the moral facts most of the time and wrongly perform moral duties. With that, absolute moral values and duties must be grounded in something that is necessary and unchanging foundation. It must be grounded in a conscious, rational, and necessary entity, which is the foundation of absolute moral values and duties, and who will we look to for moral guidance. And if moral realism is true, it leads us right back to the existence of a conscious source whom we look to for moral guidance and direction. This source, whoever this would be, is what we call God, a necessary being that is beyond bounds of time and who is the foundation of what is good and therefore worthy of our praise and worship. So next is the existence of God explained by the irreducible complexity. So an irreducibly complex object has all its part it needs to function and cannot reduce any further. In simpler words, irreducible complexity means if you remove something from a mechanism, object, or organism, it will eventually not work as everything is necessary and no part is wasted or redundant. On the other hand, the Darwinian theory of evolution requires us to believe that complex things like humans, dogs, butterfly, or etc. came from more simplistic or more simple things before they came or became or we became what we are right now. We undergo constant biological modification as of the Darwinian theory so that we can fit in, survive, and adapt to the environment that we are placed in. Yet, the concept of irreducible complexity bypasses and threatens the Darwinian's natural selections and the survival of the fittest, as in irreducible complex things or beings like humans, and all the pieces of informations are needed in order for us to work together and have to work right from the very beginning. And one way to understand the problem that irreducible complexity presents to our evolution or the theory of evolution is to imagine that you own a bike. Imagine you need this bicycle every day just to go to school. And the bicycle must always be in working condition. Now imagine that you were going to convert this bicycle into a motorcycle one piece at a time. Now the catch is, you have to be able to ride this bike to school every day, and every piece that you add must make your commute a little bit or a much faster. And that process would be barely impossible. And at some point, you'd have neither a bicycle nor a motorcycle and no way to go to school, right? Evolution requires slow, gradual changes over time. But irreducible complex things requires all of the parts to be there simultaneously, or they will fail. That is a giant hole under Darwin's theory of evolution. Now, the Bible says, "Let the earth bring forth the living creatures after their kind, the cattle and creeping things, beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so. God made the beasts of earth after their kind, the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground after their kind." This line is in the Bible deciphers immediate creation of all parts of all the animals according to their kind. And it matches what we know about irreducible complexity. All the parts have to work together and must be there all at once, just as the Bible says all along, and just as how God created us, whole and always complete. So now I'm going to answer the question number 2, briefly demonstrate the functions and significance of the material and immaterial part of a man in terms of the dichotomy theory. So the dichotomy theory, particularly in the context of philosophy, divides the human being into the material and the immaterial components. The material part refers to the physical aspect of the human existence. It includes the body and the brain. It encompasses the tangible, observable elements of human anatomy and physiology. On the other hand, the immaterial part refers to the aspect of human existence that transcends the physical realm, such as consciousness, intellect, and emotion. So it encompasses the abstract qualities that are not reducible to physical matter. Our material self this acts as the influencing part of us, while our immaterial self acts as the directing part through which controls, dictates the material part of a man. As the immaterial part governs higher cognitive functions, so it must be the one who will be dictating the material part. So the significance of the material and immaterial part lies in their interplay, with each influencing the other to shape behavior, experiences, perceptions, and the entirety of the human being as a whole. So with a combination of these two factors, we as a human being of who we are right now are being shaped of these two. So once again, my name is Dexter Boncales. I am from Cantojaon, Palompon, Leyte, and I'm also from Bsmt 1 Charlie. Thank you.